Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a breakfast with Blaha. Today I'm having fat-free Greek yogurt, frozen strawberries, and milled flax seeds. All right, let's talk about half sets. This is something that has come up. It's something I brought up in the past. This topic, I first discussed it, I think, after watching the volume debate between Lyle McDonald and Dr. Mike Israetel. All right, because actually that's the only YouTube I care about. I'll be honest with you guys. When you say, hey guys, Jason, did you see this YouTube video? Was it some discussion between major experts? The answer is no, then I quite frankly don't care. I don't care about anything that happens in YouTube other than debates with major experts, or if someone who is both a coach and a world record holder of some type has to say something. Right? That's it. Not interested in anything else. I don't care what other people say. And no, that doesn't include Craig Doucette. Just realize that. But the point is, let's talk about volume of this half set thing, because what we've been saying is the general idea is that you want 10 to 20 sets per muscle group, quality sets per week, spread out over 2 workouts, right? In other words, you want between 5 and 10 per workout, on average 2 workouts per week. That tends to be our optimal range for hypertrophy. It doesn't mean we don't get hypertrophy outside those ranges. And it's optimal. When we start exceeding those ranges, recovery becomes enormous. And a lot of people are not going to have their recovery for that. So the whole point came up of, does it work a muscle or not? Well, for these purposes, for these volumes, what we've said is that if something isn't a great stimulator, it might be a half set, not a full set. Right? It might be a half set. All right. But I've had tons of people say, oh, I need to know, is this a half set or not? And it'll be something like closed grip bench press for triceps. No, closed grip bench press for triceps is a full set, especially if it's heavy. Now, if it's not light, if it's not limit sets, all right, maybe not. But if it's pushing the limits of the closed grip, like you're going heavy, you're not trying to do it as a silly supplemental lift, you're taking it seriously as a lift, finding the right grip spacing. You're not trying to do real silly stuff in close to where you can't touch your chest anymore. If you're doing serious, hard closed grip benching, it is a full set. But, people will ask this. They'll ask this, and I get clients who do it, and they're like, oh, coach, I don't think I'm getting enough sets per week. And I'm like, you get 15 sets for that muscle a week. What are you talking about? And it'll be a novice too. I don't even have on conjugate. Now he's going to see this video too, by the way. He's going to be like, coach, you're talking about me. Yes, Paul, I'm talking about you. He did the math wrong. Completely wrong. The issue here, everyone starts worrying about the half sets now. You only care about half sets if you're at really, really low training volumes. Why? Because you may not be getting 5 sets in a workout. That's a concern, right? If you're not getting 5 sets in a workout, well, we're not inside that ideal hypertrophy range, are we? We aren't there. That's not good. But what are you doing for exercises? This is what would come up for, let's just discuss chest, front delts, triceps. Right? And I think that's a good one for people to understand where we're coming from. Now, part of our issue is this only really applies fully if you're not doing conjugate or it's like 5-3-1 or something like that, right? Because those have main sets. Because I'm normally just talking about your supplemental work. Keep in mind those main sets have some growth stimulus. Right? Your 5-3 and your 1 have growth stimulus. Your max work, your speed work have growth stimulus. Okay, but these topics really only matter when the volume gets super low. So you come over and you start looking at pressing. You're looking at pressing. Bench press, is it a half set or a full set? For triceps. I know a lot of people would say a half set. All right, a lot of people would say a half set. I think it depends on rep range. I don't know, how heavy are you going? How heavy are you going? But come over to your max effort work. Is a full set for triceps. 5, 3, 1, those are a full set because they're heavy. And the research there is pretty good. Long head activation. You know, everyone says, well, the long head doesn't get work on bench. Not what the EMG says. When you go heavy, it does. It becomes a critical primary mover. But when would we be concerned? I don't know, when you're doing minimum, the bare minimum. You're doing 3 sets of flat bench. 3 sets of flat bench. All right, 3 sets of overhead press. That's the entirety of your pressing workout. Well, that's when you would be worried about half sets, right? This is when we start getting concerned. Because, again, the pecs, are the pecs getting enough? Is overhead press even a half set for pecs? I don't know that. I don't think that it is. Pecs only got 3 work sets. Front delts get 6. I mean, we all agree bench press is a front delt exercise. Front delts got 6. What the triceps get? Because they're these full sets or half sets. If they're half sets, we only got 3 sets for the triceps. This is problematic. This isn't enough to grow on. In theory, I mean, you're going to grow on it unless you're reasonably advanced, right? Do you need to add extra tricep work? You need to add extra pec work. Hey, this gets a little nuanced. Well, here's our solution once you add a second press. Okay. Because we're concerned that these are half sets. You see, we're going, this is when it matters. Maybe you should add a dumbbell chest press. I think we could make the argument the dumbbell chest press is a full set for all of them. Because of the closer grip nature and everything. Yeah. Triceps, deep stretch on the pecs. So you just add that in. Now we're not concerned. All right? Now we're in a good situation. There's your solution. But this is why you need to think in terms of those half sets. Because maybe that's not enough. But here's the other question. Did you just speed bench first? Did you just speed bench against bands first? And see the problem? Maybe it's not that important. All right, then we go to the other end. These half sets don't matter when we start doing a ton of volume. Now here's what matters. People say, but are we doing too much? Well, if we're worried about doing too much, we start exceeding that 10 sets. That doesn't mean in all cases. That means under just normal, regular circumstances, normal lifestyle. What happens if you increase your nutrition quality? What happens if you improve your sleep? You add an extra hour of sleep every night. Happens when you work on your stress management and you quit stressing about stupid stuff like, did I only get 3.5 sets a week or for this workout for this muscle? Talking about you, Paul. Talking about you. I have more than one Paul too, which is going to make this really funny. But he knows who he is. Quit stressing about stupid shit. And then you can do more work in the gym and recover from it. Force yourself to go to bed earlier. And when anabolics come in the mix on top of this is a whole other topic. But if you get all these lifestyle factors in place, you start exceeding that 10 sets. And then we don't care about half sets anymore. Look, you can come in and do 5 sets of bench press, 5 sets of dumbbell press, 5 sets of overhead press. At this point, you know your front delt's got 15 sets. Do you care if your triceps got half sets or not? I mean, do you care at this point if your triceps are somewhere between 7.5 and 15? No, because all we care about now is, are we recovering from this high amount of volume? I mean, we come back and make the case of, you could take this down to 3 sets of bench, 4 sets of dumbbell press, 3 sets of overhead press. We're at 10 sets. No matter how you do the math, your triceps got at least 5. Are they going to grow pretty significantly? Did we hit multiple angles? So that overhead we did. All right. Well, you know your pecs got 10 sets. Any way you break down the sets, at least. Your triceps got somewhere between 7.5, although I think the dumbbell counts as a whole. You know, whatever. I'm getting the two mixed up. You guys get the idea. At this point, if we're doing enough volume, this half set stuff goes away. Nobody cares anymore. Now it's just a question of, can you recover from it? Can you gear your lifestyle towards recovery? In which case, we don't need to worry about this. We don't care about the half sets because we know we hit the optimal range on everything. Now we just need the food, sleep, rest, stress management, which that's the problem with exceeding the 10 sets in a workout or 20 per week. It's not that it's a problem on the recovery end if you can't balance your life better. But that is a better solution. I mean, there's your better solution. Train harder, train more, rest more, eat better. There's your optimal. Up to a point. And if you're doing too much, then back it down. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.